Rob, good morning again. Great to be here.
Maria Lawrence.
Good morning. I thought Bill was going to say something else.
Yeah.
We all did.
I know, and we stopped, but he didn't. So
Usually
here we
there's
are.
like a 5-minute monologue.
Yeah,
that comes
but I want to give Maria her airtime for that first couple of seconds now.
And then
I'm
now
gonna
we're
take over.
done. Yeah, I'm done.
You've heard Maria for the last time this morning.
That's right. Thank you.
but not for the last time this month. I think you've got one more show to do with us. Or
Two.
is this it?
I'm going to come in the day.
The day you're leaving.
That I'm leaving. Yeah.
Yeah, if you've just not heard this before, Marina's going to do the El Camino walk, and this is going to be in Portugal, correct?
Correct.
That segment of it?
No.
Spain?
So we start out in Portugal, but we actually start the walk in Tui, T-U-I, which I think is Spain. I got to do some more research, but I'm just going along.
All right.
But I'm going to walk.
And you're walking about 15 miles a day to get in shape?
I slept in this morning, truth be told. But I'm trying to do 7, 8, 9. Yeah,
7, 8,
something
9.
like that a day.
Well,
So.
we look forward to hopefully getting a call from you while you're on the
exactly.
trail.
We'll figure that out.
That'd be nice. Chuck Engle is back, and I understand grab that microphone, Chuck, and slide it in front of you there. First and foremost, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you, sir.
I understand you've got a very fascinating mac and cheese story for me today.
Oh, good gracious. Yeah, Susan prepared your obligatory macaroni and cheese, and we left for practice last night, and Edward's dog ate the entire dish of macaroni and cheese.
The dog ate my mac
He
and
ate
cheese.
my mac.
That's great.
So Susan got up this morning and has replaced and made more macaroni and cheese, and Edward will be bringing it before 10.
No, she didn't have to do that. I'm happy.
That was nice, though.
It was nice.
But Edward has to make the trip because it's his dog.
Well, that's pretty cool because my wife has a thing she has to go to this evening, so I'm home alone. So I was going to have that mac and cheese for dinner, but if the dog had it, that's fine.
Yeah.
So
But now
that means you don't get any.
I get none.
No.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yep, so you'll get it before 10.
Yeah, between the dog and Rob, Maria, you're left out.
I'm done.
I want to know who has to take the dog out later on today, though.
That will be Edward.
Because that's going to be interesting.
It ought to be a few days where he doesn't have to take them out after a whole dish of macaroni and cheese. So.
Well, that may be the case as well, yeah. You're going to be traveling soon.
We are. Susan and I are leaving Saturday for Houston for the World Robotics Championship that starts next Wednesday. Mm-hmm. It's 4 days long. I have Zach here, who is Majesty and Chosen came in earlier in the year to talk about the trip.
Yep.
So Zach is here today, and my mentor and helper coach is Jeff Duggar, and he's here today.
All right, let's talk about this trip first and foremost.
Yes,
and it's a World Robotics Championship, but how did you folks participate in it locally to get onto this level?
Right, so we hosted a scrimmage back in November. The season starts in August and usually goes through December. Mm-hmm. We hosted a scrimmage last year in November, and then we were at the West Virginia State Championship. I took 4 teams. We have 4 in this level, and Zach's team with Majesty and Chosen Lego Force, they won the West Virginia State Championship, and it just so happens this is the first year in many, but we have a bid to the World Championship from winning West Virginia.
And this is through...
go ahead, Chuck. Go ahead.
This is through 4-H.
We are a 4-H club.
This is not school-sponsored.
No, it is not school-sponsored.
Yeah, I know the school-sponsored teams are doing pretty well, too. Though.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Cindy Everett is in the building with me, and they're going to Dallas next month they do a different type of competition.
Yeah, okay. And you'll leave when? Saturday?
Susan and I are leaving on Saturday. We are the drivers of all stuff.
You're driving to Houston.
Susan and I are driving because we have a whole van full of everything.
You're the roadies.
To be able to do it, yeah. So,
yeah.
Just got a text from Susan, and she's throwing the dog under the bus. The dumb dog.
Susan, I want you to know it's okay. You don't even have to replace it. Just the thought was nice enough.
Yeah, where will be the international competition?
it's in Houston this year.
That's a national, but you say
No, that's the internet. That's the World Championship is held this year in
Houston.
Yes, sir.
Very nice.
There's they are one of 160 teams out of 35,000. So they are the top 160 out of 35,000 teams.
All right, how are you paying for all this?
We have been so blessed. Jeff, I remember him saying after we got this bid that the money would happen, we'd get it. 4-H has been extremely generous. We have a lot of other local sponsors. We did a GoFundMe, but we are fully funded to go.
How much did you need?
We raised just over 20,000, I believe.
That's
Wow.
incredible.
So yeah, 4-H jumped in. A lot of smaller local donations, but we had a very good fundraising. So
Well, congratulations.
And how many altogether will go with you, Chuck? So it's this team. You're the roadie. Your
Susan
wife.
and I, yeah.
Yeah. Is
so
that-
Jeff and his wife and their other son,
Mm-hmm.
and then the twins, Majesty and Chosen, their teammate. They're going to be coming with, I think, 2 sets of grandparents and the parents. So we have a crew of, I think, just under 16
That's
people
great.
that are going to be going. They're all, and Emma, my daughter, is going out as well. So
All right. Let's meet Jeff Duggar as well. Jeff, grab that mic and slide it over. And Chuck described you as his mentor. Tell me about your involvement in this.
Sure. So this is third year with Zach on the team. Mentor just in the capacity of helping the team with the project aspect of the competition. There's 2 main components to it. There's the robot field where they're solving missions, and then there's an innovation project that they have to put together and attempt to solve. This year, the problem statement they had to work with was helping people that do work underwater. And so we had to work through what are the different opportunities that exist there, what jobs exist, what problems do they have, and then come up with an innovative solution. So my role as a mentor was to help the team with the research process and then putting together the idea. And now it's a lot of work going through how they're going to present this. One of the skill sets they get to learn that is not necessarily intuitive in the idea of doing robotics is there's a lot of communication skills that they get a chance to learn having to present this project in 5 minutes or less to a group of judges for evaluation. So it's been a fantastic time watching them do what they're doing.
Do you have an engineering background?
My degree is in engineering, so my undergraduate degree is in biomedical engineering. I, like many people, went to school for the thing that I'm not doing today. So today I do supply chain work with a company called Trex in Winchester.
Trex is in decking?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I use your product.
I'm glad to hear that.
As do
great.
I.
I do
It's the best-
too.
yeah.
Yes.
This is
It's
fantastic.
the best. Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's been a good blessing because the skill set you learn in engineering can be applied to a lot of different fields, including supply chain work and including helping them figure out how to solve these problems that they're working through.
Now we're talking problem. I'm going to get to Zach in just a second. Are the problems they've looked at here in Berkeley County, will they be the same problem they'll look at in Houston, or are they going to be surprised by the judges with a different problem?
Fair question. So the problem statement is for the full season. So they get to start back in August with what do we want to do to help people underwater, and then they carry that all the way through. So the same project that they presented at the state championship is the same one they'll present at the world championship with some more research done behind it, some more design work done behind it, and some more clarity in how they think it'll work.
Tell us a little again about the scope of that project in case people don't remember from the last time we were together.
Sure. So in just what would be the scientific method, they started with a couple of different ideas and they pared it down very quickly to the idea of when you dive, you have a dive buddy. And that communication that you need to have with that person is really, really important, not just for having fun, but for safety. There's a reason you have a partner when you dive, and there are some limitations to the way people communicate when they're underwater today. It's based on hand signals or a writing slate. There are some technology solutions out there. They're really expensive and they're bulky to have to wear them, and so they really wanted to tackle that problem. How do we assist divers in communicating with each other underwater to increase the safety component and make diving more fun because of that?
All right, let's meet Zach now. Zach, what grade are you in?
I'm a freshman.
Freshman? What school do you go to?
Martinsburg High School.
All right, how's it going?
It's going really well. I like it a lot.
Yeah, and tell me about your interest in robotics.
This is my third year doing this with Chuck. I like coding and building with Legos, so it's kind of just a mixture of both, and so I really enjoy doing it.
How long have you had an interest in coding and Legos?
I did it in school for a while, like in elementary and middle school with some coding, like just classes like Scratch and stuff, so I've had an interest for a while.
I have this little next door neighbor. I think he's like 5 now, right? Rory is his name. And I had this cool rock in my yard that I found, and I gave it to him. And about a minute later, he comes back over, and he had this Lego cannon that he had built. and he gave it to me in exchange for the rock.
Seems like a fair exchange, Rob.
Yeah,
Rock.
It's on
Lego.
wheels and everything, right? So I put it in between. I have this oversized chess set in my basement, and I put it between the two, right in the middle of the board, right? So about a year later, he came over to my house with his family and whatever. We were having I guess some party of some sort. And I said, Rory, look, see that right there, that Lego cannon? I said, that's what you gave me last year. I put it right between the chest set. He goes, I don't remember giving that to you.
He's going to accuse you of something, Rob.
Yeah. Did you take it from him?
I have it. I own it. It's in my house. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Bill.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what he's probably saying as well. I'm never going to get Rob anything else.
But the point is, this little 3-4-year-old had built this design cannon on wheels, and thought enough of it to give it to me as a gift. Well, that was pretty cool. My kids were into Legos when they were a kid. And in case you missed it, Legos are a big part of what this whole competition is. So Zach, kind of take us into the intricacies of this construction versus the Legos you might play with in your house when you're 4.
Yeah, so this Lego is not just like the regular Lego sets you buy. This is more like Technic pieces. So like the whole robot is built just purely out of Legos, minus like the wires and the brick. That's like the brain of the robot. And so
How big is this robot, by the way?
That mouse pad's probably
yeah,
a good
a little similar to that.
8 to 10 inches.
Something like that. Yeah.
Sit on your head. Okay.
Yeah. You can get like a starter kit to build just a basic model, but you can like build there's like hundreds of different designs you could probably build to make a robot however you want to make it. Big wheels, small wheels, square robot, tall robot.
Sure. And how does this robot with wires and such safely work in water?
I don't know if it actually does work
does
in
not
water.
work in water.
It does not work in water. Okay, but the mission is to work in water, is it
So
not?
each year there's a theme. I'm sorry.
Grab that.
Yeah. Each year there's a different theme that they compete with. This year is underwater. The robot field is an 4x8 table with different elements on it that the robot has to interact with. So no, water and the robot would not be a good combo.
But the theme is underwater.
The theme is underwater. So they have a big part of the season is the innovation project. So that is, they have to research, present, and this year just happens to be an underwater theme. We've had desert, we've had outer space. Different years, different themes.
So, Zach, you won in West Virginia. Several folks are competing against you. What made your projects so much better than the others? How did you win?
Well, so the project is 3/4 of like the whole total score. So I think we were second on the robot board out of 50 teams at the state, and then our presentation went really well. I think things that set us apart were, one of the big things is talking to experts in the field. So talking to dive masters, we talked to an oceanographer, we talked to someone who works at NOAA.
You've all been told.
Steve Boykin. Yeah,
and he
did you talk to
come in
Steve?
and work with them twice.
That's great.
And they had a little extra experience here after they won the state championship to be a little more ready. You tell them what you did?
Yeah, we went to the YMCA in Hagerstown, actually did a beginner diving class. So we had like 3 or 4, maybe 5 people who are not professional, but like people who dive regularly. And so they took us under with some real dive gear and let us get like an experience in how it works.
Oh, cool. I'm glad that whole connection worked out for you guys.
Sure did.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, a little over a year ago, you had the bridge collapse in Baltimore, and the subject of underwater work was in everybody's mind for some time. So this is kind of timely that this came about this year as part of that theme. What have you learned about this project in regards to underwater and such that you didn't know before, Zach?
Well, when we were underwater, we definitely saw like communication, like restraints, like we would be doing random signals at each other and we would have no clue what each other was talking about.
Kind of like this show. Yeah, we don't know what
And
we're
we're
talking
not
about.
underwater. Well, yeah.
Be careful, Maria. Some of us may be.
Yeah, we learned a lot about like problems underwater. We learned like how like diving deep is a problem. We didn't actually even consider dive buddies for a while. We actually talked to one of our experts who kind of helped us out with that a little bit. So we learned a lot.
Very good. Bill,
Yeah, talking about communication, I was.
my question was kind of NOAA related though. Before you,
I was
go.
going to ask who in
There we
NOAA,
go.
Yeah, okay, go
who in NOAA, and who's the oceanographer you spoke with.
Was it Kath?
So
Rin, I think.
Yeah, so the NOAA contact was a person named Caitlin. She is one of their dive instructors for their team. And then within Chuck's larger group of 4 teams, one of the other mentors, Chrissy, used to be an oceanographer for several years. And so we had the advantage of an internal resource to work with, but also this contact that she helped us get at NOAA to work with.
Yeah. Talking about communication, and you talk about my southern accent on occasion. I was visiting on a couple of submarines years or so ago, and I was a guest. So the captain was going to get me involved, and so I was going to do the communication between the submarines. Well, that didn't last very long, and the captain, after everything, they were doing a very intense drill, and I had them going in every direction imaginable. So the captain finally took over and said, "I'll take over, Lieutenant." so my and I understand, Zach, communicating underwater is tough.
It can be, I guess. Zach Bill's a retired NOAA admiral, by the way, so just so you know what the frame of reference it's
and the
coming
people
from.
you referred to, I think I know them. So
Yeah,
great.
Chuck, what, and Jeff, what are all the names of the folks associated with this project who got you to this point and who will be going to Houston?
So Zach and Majesty and Chosen are the 3 team members for Lego Force who will be competing. We have Jeff and myself. Susan is she's the behind the scenes organizer, and she keeps us all straight. Sophie Walker has come in to help us a little bit with it, and then just parents and family members who will be going.
And tell me about the itinerary once you get to Houston.
We have 4 days of competition. The first day, we go in and set up on Wednesday. We get a pit area, an 8x8 area, so we've got canopies and lights and all kinds of things. The kids bought a world map that's just blank and white, so we're going to have it sitting out on the table. The teams, there's over 60 countries that will be there, so we had it so they can come in and color in where they're from on the map, so they'll have that to bring home. But then Thursday and Friday are intense. There'll be 7 a.m. until late in the afternoon of actually competing and presenting to the judges. And Saturday is I'm looking forward to Saturday. It's called an encore, and they are paired with 2 other random teams, 1 international team, 1 American team, and then possibly another. But they will be given a challenge at 7 in the morning that nobody has seen before. So they will all 3 teams will work together to present 1 robot and have an impromptu competition on Saturday.
And how many minutes do you get to pull off the mission?
They get 2 minutes and 30 seconds to get as many things done on the table as they can.
What's a typical mission that these robots are asked to do and these kids are asked
It's
to
random.
coordinate?
You have one that one of the missions that they have to move things from place to place, raise and lower items on there, gather items. So they have a variety of attachments that they build to stick on the robot to do a specific task.
Do they crown an international world champion at this?
There certainly is.
How many places do they recognize?
There are 30 different awards for the event out of 160 teams.
All right. And other than just the complete mission failure, that you can't complete the mission, how do the judges determine from those who complete the task what's worthy of being in first place or 10th place?
So there's 4 criteria. The robot game, which they actually compete on the table with, it's a score. There is a score sheet that they go down, and for everything that they've completed, they get a very specific amount. Then their innovation project is another quarter when they present about their project and their idea. Then another thing is called core values, which is how you interact with other teams, how your team interacts with themselves, and how you present yourself. And then they do a robot design portion where they describe their process of how they built, how they coded. Because being able to explain what you've done to other people is important for them.
So the time is very short in the presentation. Do you do it multiple times then, or how does that all work? Anybody?
So yeah, we get 30 minutes in the judging room to do all of our stuff. Usually it's like 5 minutes to present, and they give you 5 minutes of questions, and then you do that again for robot design, and then they give you a little extra time to, if you forgot anything, let them know. That's how the state championship worked. When we go to the international one, if they're interested in stuff, they can do what's called a callback, and so maybe later in the day they'll they'll be like, "Hey, we want to talk to you about it more to learn some more."
Sounds very stressful. The whole thing sounds stressful. I'm nervous just thinking about it.
It's designed to be very fun.
Okay.
So
Fun and stressful.
it's very large. There's 40 plus colleges there who are ready to talk to them about scholarship opportunities.
Wow.
There's an innovation fair. So like they have Disney and NASA and a whole bunch of places there that have things on display to show as well. So there's a lot of side activities to keep them entertained.
Jeff, a couple of questions. One, has AI been incorporated at this level of robotics, or is this level of robotics moving toward involving AI?
Sure. So for what they're doing, they are definitely doing all of the programming. So it's in a block code called Scratch. So there's no AI interface that we're using today. They definitely have had to get the benefit of some online teaching help at times to solve some of those problems, but AI isn't fundamentally doing their programming for them. Moving forward, I don't know that they would incorporate AI specifically into this, because it really is a chance for them to demonstrate what they can learn and to learn at the same time. That's a component of this whole process, is a little bit of the scientific method of you run your mission, you see what didn't go wrong, you try to design or figure out what you have to change it, test it, do it again. And learning even at these early levels the scientific method and how to incorporate that helps them be prepared for when they're doing bigger things, when they're doing the other levels of competition that exist as well, that are robots much closer to the size of a portion of this table compared to what they're working with in a small brick.
Now, robotics has been taught in our local schools, and you said you're sponsored by the 4-H. How much integration, how much cooperation do you have between the schools and the 4-H?
The two programs are different. We compete in FIRST, all capitals, FIRST, and the schools use, it's called VEX. It's more tailored to schools. There's a curriculum involved with it. It's a little more rigid in what you can do, but with FIRST, if it's ever been made out of Lego, you can use it in your robot. I mean, if it's from the old 70s Lego sets, you can use it. So it also, the presentation portion is, public speaking is a big deal for these kids, and being able to organize their project and keep things on track. So they're different.
How sturdy is the robot? It's Lego, so if it falls over, does it break apart?
Yeah,
it can. Yeah, for sure.
That's a bad day, but yes.
It definitely can. The benefit is it's Lego. You can put it back together. So it's not truly broken. It's just disassembled.
Gotcha. Hey, I've got about a minute and a half left. Do a plug for 4-H here, Chuck, real quick, and maybe future robotics members as well.
Absolutely. We are members of the Berkeley County 4-H STEM Club. There is no charge to come. There's no charge to participate, even at this level, other than the travel expenses that we have sometimes. But we take kids from 9 up into 21. Competition teams start at 9, and they end when they're out of high school in 18. But we're always taking new members, and you can learn to code, you can learn to build robots, you can learn lots.
How many do you have right now?
Right now we have just over 30 kids.
Wow.
And we, like I said, we fielded 4 teams last year of this level, and then we have one at the next level.
Next level being up.
Okay. Yeah. That's the older high school group. Yeah.
They
are aging out, so they will be moving to that next group next year.
I got a note from Steve Boykin. He says, good luck to this really sharp team, and he gave you guys a few thoughts regarding diving as well, too. Yeah. So Steve sends his best wishes, and we congratulate you folks on the work you're doing with kids, because it pays off into the future exponentially.
Thank you.
All right, good luck to you.
We love doing it.
Zach, have a good time in Houston.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck to you guys there. Jeff, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Chuck, great to see you.
Good to see you.
It'll be good to see Edward later on, not just because...
Roger's birthday today.
Roger's birthday is funny.
It is his birthday today.
Good.
He's 35 years old for the 35th time.
All the best to them as well. It's top of the hour. We take our break here. This is Talk Radio, WRNR Martinsburg, and TV 10. More to come.